a low light comparison between the Mevo Start, EMEET StreamCam 1, NearStream VM33, and Obsbot Tail AIR. 4 cameras that I've had my hands on quite a bit over the past several months. We'll get to see how they handle lower light streaming and recording situations. In a recent YouTube survey, 50% of you said you, on occasion, do stream in low light conditions. With the new cameras hitting the market recently, this is one area we can measure with some precision. I'll be measuring the amount of light in lux using the Light Meter app with its included diffuser. This will give us a consistent comparison. Even if you use a different tool which gives different measurements, the comparison should be similar. And as you can see, where my face is, we're at about 380 lux. Now, I am recording the beginning of this video through my iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I've lined up next to it the VM33, the EMEET StreamCam 1, the Start, and the Tail AIR. So we're all looking at the same thing with pretty much full light. Now, the one difference about this video from most of the videos that I produce is that the window just to my right usually lets in a lot of light, but it's nighttime, so we can get a good low light comparison. So where I'm usually at, right at 480, 500 lux right here, when the light's coming in the window, I'm a little less than that, but you can see my 45-degree light over here, my front light up top here, my fill lights over here, and then there is the room light that's on as well, just to kind of fill it out since I'm missing that window. You can tell this is a fairly well-lit shot, and we're not struggling with low light issues here. As we turn down the lights to get our low light comparison, we'll measure in lux again and see where we stand, how low a light level input we're getting for the bulk of the test. Now, sensor size may mean something to some of you, so here are the specs on those. The Mevo has a 1/2.8 inch sensor. The EMEET is the same, 1/2.8. The NearStream VM33, though, is unknown. I could not find any documentation that said what sensor size it is. It talks a lot about the specs on the lens itself, but the sensor could not get anything other than it is a CMOS sensor. The Obsbot comes in at 1/1.8. It's letting in a lot of light. And when we get to the low light comparison, I will have adjusted each camera's image adjustments in its software to give it the best possible chance at low light handling. If one of these pieces of software doesn't have the image adjustment it needs to handle low light, it's going to go as close as I can get it or in its out-of-the-box configuration. Now, in the Mevo, I'll turn off the HDR, as their version of HDR requires a lot of light to keep from having a very dark picture. And I'll run the exposure up some, but those are basically all the adjustments I'll make in the Mevo Start. In the EMEET, the HDR didn't really make a difference at all. Not a noticeable difference anyway, but in their Pro mode for image adjustments, luminosity, hue, and white balance are 3 settings that really brought out the picture quality in a low light setting for the EMEET StreamCam. And it allowed the shadows to be present in the darker frame without graininess setting in. It was really quite beautiful. You'll get to see. So here's a quick glimpse of what each camera looks like under full light on the day of this test. NearStream VM33, EMEET StreamCam 1, Mevo Start, Obsbot Tail AIR. Now let's start turning out some lights and see how they handle the low light comparison. From full brightness on my 45-degree light to about half brightness, we're seeing a change down to just over 100 to 120. That's pretty dim. And you're seeing what each of these cameras are showing us with the settings that were intended for full light. We'll play with the settings a little bit and see what we get here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and pull the 45-degree light down some more. Okay, that's as low as I can pull it. I can't get it any lower. This is a really low light setting. Now the EMEET is showing me a decent picture. The Mevo is showing me a decent picture. The lux meter is showing me we're at 15. 16, 17, it's getting dark in here, and cameras don't always like dark, but man, what I'm seeing out of these so far, actually, it's handling some low light fairly well. Okay, at this light level, this is what we're going to work with. We're going to do our best to adjust some settings to see if we can come up with the cleanest look we can when the light conditions are terrible. So we'll start in the StreamCam's software and go into the image adjustment settings there. Now you see that I do have HDR on. Like I said, it didn't make much difference there. I'm averaging my exposure metering, and I am auto in camera mode for now. I'm going to bring pro mode into play. This luminosity, now it has some settings here that I probably need to back off on, huh? So that hue, I don't want it too cool. I don't want it too warm. My white balance, there we go. And luminosity. If I raise that. Okay, so it gives it kind of a retro look, I'll admit to that, but that's not a bad shot. I'm looking at this in a monitor window. I'll have to look at it in the full 1080 in order to see if what my little monitor window is telling me the truth about or not. We'll see, but that's the adjustments. That's making adjustments in pro mode. If I leave it to auto actually handles it pretty well. It leaves that pinkish color in me. If I know it's dark, audience knows it's dark, I might like it to be a little bit dark looking. You know, it makes it a little bit more genuine than leaving it in auto. Okay, so let's move over to the Mevo adjustment settings. So I'm in the public beta of the Mevo app on this one. And it has a little bit different Mevo settings. If you want to get in this public beta, you can always get in the public betas for Mevo software through their Mevo customer group on Facebook. There's always a post that introduces that, and you can look and see what's going on there if you like. So if I take let's see. No, I'm going to do presets first. Presets, I'm going to go with high contrast. That makes it look like it's dark in here. Again, I don't mind that. You may argue with me and say, no, that's terrible. But if I know I'm filming at night and my audience knows that what I'm doing is at night, I don't mind it having a little bit of a dark look. Okay, so let's go from that one and let's customize it a little bit. Oh, I forgot. HDR was on in this and it's recording, so I can't turn it off. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to stop the recording for the Mevo Start, and I'll turn HDR off and bring it back up. Okay, so I have turned the HDR off on the Mevo Start, and it does give me to me, a cleaner, dark-looking picture. My eye just likes this. Again, yours may not. If I were to go into white balance, I think I'd probably mess things up. Yeah, I do. Yep, taking it to any other, well, let's see, run it way on up here and see what we get. I don't know, maybe if I come up in the 4700s. Okay, so yeah, you can control that and get it to right where you want it if you move up into the closer to 5,000 range on your white balance when it's dark. Your exposure, bump it up just a hair and see what happens. All right, so that brought a little light into it. Now I do see the graininess here that I didn't see in the EMEET StreamCam 1. It's just a difference. So we'll do the same with the NearStream VM33. That's already a pretty good picture. I believe I had the image adjustments on this in linear. Yeah, that's out of the box right there. When I was doing the distance test at night, I really thought the VM33 handled that low light the best. I was very, very impressed. I thought the EMEET was greener. Of course, we've seen that we can adjust that out, and it has good low light characteristics as well. But the VM33 looks like it's really, really good, just like it comes out of the box. So instead of trying and messing this up, I think I'm going to leave it alone and say, hey, there's a really good one out of the box. I've got it on linear as a preset, and that's how it comes whenever you open it up. And finally, looking at the image adjustments on the Obsbot Tail AIR. Now, what I'm seeing here, I actually do like. My wife and I enjoy coming out here in the evenings after the sun goes down, because this deck has some solar lights above it. You can see a few of them in the Obsbot view that I have here, and it's just peaceful. Sometimes there's a breeze. The stars are always out. The moon's up pretty high in the sky tonight, and it's getting pretty close to full. When the mosquitoes aren't biting, and which, by the way, they are tonight,
when the mosquitoes aren't biting. It's just such a joyful time to get to sit here with her and enjoy it. And so I thought, you know what, low light, let's check it tonight. Let's see where we are with low light out here. NearStream is giving me a little bit of sky above the trees behind me. It's given me a pretty good view of me. The EMEET StreamCam 1 is giving me a lot of sky behind me, and actually a fairly bright view of this. You can tell it's nighttime, you can tell it's dark, but the EMEET is handling that low light really, really very well. The Mevo, my shirt and shorts are kind of washed or blacked out. They're both navy blue. I chose that because I wanted to see how it would handle picking up any color there. But yeah, it's a little darker. Can't see any sky behind me. And then the Obsbot. Oops, let's see what happens if I change my white balance. Let's run it up into the 5,000s. See what happens there. How about if we run brightness way up? Hey, brightness actually. Oh, look at that. Okay, so in the Obsbot Tail AIR, if I go into my style here at the bottom, when I've got my image adjustments open, I can go over here and choose custom and run that brightness up, and it really does let a lot more light in. Let's see if I give it one of those. Hey, that looks really good. So there are enough image adjustments in the Obsbot Tail AIR as well to get a little bit of sky in the background. Now I've got some lights in this view that I don't have in the other views, and so that may have a little bit to do with it, but that's a really good picture. I can see a lot of the skin tone in my legs, the fence behind me, the grass, and the trees and the sky back there. So nighttime, outdoor now, low light comparison between the EMEET StreamCam 1, the VM33 from NearStream, the Mevo Start, and the Obsbot Tail AIR, and I guess also the iPhone 15 Pro Max, as it is still recording me there as well.
So what do you think of the comparison? It's just that, a comparison. I'm not trying to pick a winner, because I think each of these have some great qualities that maybe you could see the benefit of if you were needing to stream in low light situations. Okay, so I'm rather amazed at what software can do for low light settings. Apple's been telling us for years it's about the software. Yes, they put good hardware in the camera that you're seeing this being recorded on, by all means, but they do so much with software, and there are some companies that are kind of picking up on that idea, and they're doing stuff with software so that we can make the adjustments and get some good quality low light live streaming and recording.